Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. I'm going to talk about things to overcome within our lives. And I'm also taking some of this stuff from the books for the book of the month, Enemies of Now. So I want to encourage you guys to go to the website, identitynetwork.net, and download these or order the paperbacks today. So if you're ready, we'll go ahead and get into our podcast. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast of Thoughts Become Things. I'm Jeremy Lopez, and I hope today you're having a great, amazing day. And I'm looking forward to being with you guys during this time of this podcast to be able to bring forth some good points that I believe will help each one of you, hopefully every one of you, to be able to live in the now moment. I'm taking some of this from the book of the month for May, which is Enemies of the Now, which actually is a really good, fulfilling, satisfied book for you to be able to be satisfied and fed. Also, it comes with a good study guide. So I encourage you guys to go to the website, identitynetwork.net, and you can download this combo together within minutes to your computer. Or you can actually order the paperback books. And if I'm in the office, I'll be glad to autograph them for you before my team ships it out to you. So I am ready today to get into this amazing podcast because I really believe, we've sold a lot of these books this month, and I really believe that there's a lot of people right now who are struggling trying to find themselves right now because a lot of times we tend to get lost in the mix of the past, the future, get lost in the mix of other people, their identity, their conversations. We get lost in our work. We get lost in our families. We get lost in our spouses. We get lost in our children. You might think, really? Yes, absolutely. It's so easy nowadays because we are persuaded, we're pulled upon, we're tugged upon, pulled to the left, pulled to the right, within politics and just everything in this world. And so it's so easy to get wrapped up and caught up in society, in people, places, things, because anything that our soul wants to be able to gravitate towards means that we're not completely satisfied within our own wholeness. It means we're not satisfied within our own identity. So anytime you feel the need or the tug to be able to be drawn to something or someone or some place, and it tends to take away and suck up all your energy, almost like a spiritual vampire. Anytime you feel like it's here to suck away your energy, your essence, your life, your mind, and you feel like nothing matters except that one thing, then that goes to show you that your soul is searching. Your spirit man is searching for a truth, is searching for satisfaction, is searching for wholeness. And so I want to encourage you guys today as we get into these points to think about these things, because it's really important to be able to understand that we all get sucked up and pulled up in, once again, people, places, things, ideas, opinions from other people, because we live in a society that demands that. It demands to give. Your opinion demands that you give of yourself to somebody, meaning that persuade them, pull them to your side, even within work and business. Have you noticed that? Even within work and business is a place of, we've got to take people away from our competitors, bring them over to us, tell them why we're better than them, tell them why, what we can do for them. And so everything today revolves around sucking the life out of you, pulling you to their side or its side or his side or her side. And you got to begin to be very careful. And a person who truly knows their identity, but also knows their power, also knows where they belong, also knows where they're going, where are you headed? A person that knows these things will tend to always honestly prosper. They'll tend to always find themselves in a place where they will never get depressed. They'll find themselves a place of joy always, unspeakable joy and full of glory. Because when you tend to be pulled away, sucked into the sort of vortex of things and people's opinions and ideas about you or about them and needing to get on their side. When you tend to do that, you will find yourself depressed. The moment you start losing the essence of who you are, you will find yourself where you become depressed, or you'll lose who you are. You'll find yourself lost. You'll never find success. You'll never find victory. You'll never find really prosperity. So you always want to be able to understand how the concept of how to maintain and sustain who you are within yourself, And let's face it, folks, even within Christianity, you've got people, persuading you, oh, you got to speak in tongues. If you're not a Christian. Oh, you're supposed to be this. If you're not a Christian, Christians don't say this. Christians don't do this. I mean, even Christians themselves are notorious, and some of them are even worse in the world. No offense, folks, to suck and drain and then sort of manipulate you as, with your Christianity or with your walk with Christ, because if you don't do this, then you're not part of the tribe. If you do this, then you're not part of me. If you do this, you can't be a part of our ministry, Even people who suck the life out of you by saying, join us today and you will be healed. If you don't, give us, $300, you're missing out the opportunity to be healed. I mean, folks, we have to be so extremely careful. And yet in the midst of us being careful, by all these enemies, we have to make sure that we don't get our hearts hardened to be able to hate these people or to dislike these or close ourselves off from not distributing the love that these people need, because they're caught up in the vortex of doing an action of manipulation. So there's so many things sometimes that can work against us, but the good thing is there's also so many things that can work for us. And we have so many great opportunities in God's kingdom that help allude towards keeping and maintaining our identity and keeping ourselves established within the foundation, the groundwork of our peace. So I want to sort of bring that as an introduction today, because it is truly important that we recognize and that we acknowledge these things. Because once again, if we don't and we move to the other spectrum, then we find ourselves in the conspiracy theory, kookiness, and then everybody's evil, everybody's bad, everybody's wrong, and then we turn our backs on everybody. Well, that's not what Christ wanted us to do. Christ wanted us to be able to love our enemies, love our neighbors as we love ourselves, bring ourselves out to where we maintain our authenticity, our vulnerability, to find ourselves to where we are still open to giving love to people. So, there's extremes on both sides. So you got to begin to sustain, maintain, and keep yourself balanced in the middle and not get sucked into the vortex of all the different sides, right? Because if you're not careful, if you don't know your identity, you'll be like the Kenny Rogers song in the 80s. Looking for love in all the wrong places, because you will continually search and not realizing you are searching. When you don't know your identity, you will find yourself constantly searching and not even thinking that you're searching, thinking that you're great in God and you're victorious in God. But yet every couple of weeks or every month, you'll find yourself deviating, pulling back, feeling as if you're in warfare, feeling as if, you're being attacked. Well, no wonder why you're being attacked. You're being attacked because you don't know yourself. And because when you know your authentic self and you know your identity, trust me, peace is a byproduct of that. Peace will always follow after identity. So if you're feeling, oh my gosh, the devil is always attacking me. He's trying to pull me away, then guess what? You are who I'm talking to, because you will always continuously be attacked because you don't have the weapon or the shield of identity. And therefore you will never be satisfied with the peace you have, because you don't have any peace. All right. So to put it bluntly, so you've got to begin to understand the power of where you are and who you are by realizing really your authenticity, your identity, and knowing you don't have to choose a side. When people come to me, and politics is a great avenue. Before I get started, let me say this. Politics is a great avenue that talks to us and tells us if we know ourselves or not. If you find yourself saying, "Oh, I'm a powerful Democrat. I'm a powerful Republican. I stand for this. I stand for this," and you're constantly validating yourself within the stance of your your Trump, your Biden, your religion, your denomination, or I'm Baptist, I'm Methodist, I'm this, I'm that, or I'm a Trump, or I'm a Republican. You got to put signs everywhere. Then honest and truthfully, no offense, folks, but you have no identity. You literally have no identity at all, because you're trying to find yourself in someone else that makes you feel powerful, no matter what side of the political system you're on, no matter what side you find yourself on. The more you feed into the system, the more you will lose your identity, and you're telling people, I don't know who I am, so I have to feel empowered by their authority. I have to find myself empowered by their political side. I have to find my power in their bullying, or I find my power in their nonchalant, or you got to find yourself in that place where you're pulled away. When the Bible says, come out from among them, well, he's talking about the political systems as well. He's talking about the strong, opinionated, runners in politics, or even that of the president, and you have to be careful, because I don't care if somebody says they're a Christian or not. The truth is, if they have a strong pull on you, they're doing a good job by manipulating you. So folks, please be cautious, be careful. Don't find your stance in I'm a Republican because God's Republican. I'm a Democrat because God's a Democrat. I'm a Trump, or I'm a Biden. You're proving yourself that you don't know who you are. So find yourself where you pull away from all this junk, and don't think for a moment that neither one of them, that these sides are not manipulating you. Folks, they're the masters of manipulation. So don't get wrapped up in all the hogwash and the is it okay if I use the word BS with you guys? I hope you're okay with it, but don't get caught up in the BS, because the truth is, that's what the system does. It sucks you in by that way. So today, I want to give you, those are your main enemies. All right, is the system, not the people, but the system. But yet don't think for a moment that people are not working within the system, because they are. All right. So with that said, I want to give you guys, once again, for my book, a couple of ideas that will help you to overcome, or excuse me, the ideas of what you're wrapped up in, that you've got to be aware of to be pulled out of that. Okay. Out of that. So the number one thing I want to bring forth is fear. Now, fear we could all run with. I know every one of you, especially here in America, are saying, "Amen, Jeremy. You are so right on with fear," because fear is a great manipulator. Fear is the tool of most politicians. Honestly, fear is the tool of most people. And so no wonder why we wake up in the morning and we're fearful. We're fearful because there's groups of conspiracy theories. There's kooky-headed whack jobs of the QAnon. There's whack jobs of extreme Democrats. There's whack jobs in extreme ultra-conservative Republicans. There's whack jobs in our works. There's whack jobs, and I'm sorry to use that word, but it's true. There's whack jobs in society, in people that have been trained to manipulate you. So no wonder why fear is so rampant in today, because if we can say things like, if you don't vote for me, our country's going to hell in a handbasket. Well, fear. Not truth, fear. If you don't work over here, you're never going to be successful. Fear. If you don't make the good money, and if you don't, buy my course to know how to be able to mastermind your money, you're gonna lose it when we have the economic crash. Fear. When you go to church and say, you're gonna burn in hell if you don't change your ways. Fear. If you go to a church that sits here, and tells you, listen, I'm successful. I do this, ego. Listen to me. When the economy crashes and the four horsemen ride their way to you, are you going to accept the mark? Fear. Fear is a destructive, one of the most demonic spirits alive today. You have got to learn to overcome this demonic, horrible spirit, because even when you're dealing with the power of you trying to bring out your faith, you're going to have no choice, folks, but to eliminate and eradicate fear, because all these sects, all these groups, all these we'll say tribes of people, all these manipulators, their job is to put fear in you. Did you guys know, when you think of, if you think for a moment, let's say, and I'm using these as examples, when you think, oh, Fox tells the truth, CNN doesn't. Folks, you're about as manipulated and hard-headed as the rest of them, because I have news for you. They fight for this. They fight to be able to grab you to say, don't listen to them, don't listen to them, listen to us. Folks, let me give you, I was talking to a friend of mine who's the other day, who's a pastor, who is my dearest friend in the whole wide world, lives in the same state I live in, and we're going to do lunch here in a couple of weeks. And he was talking about the same thing. I was talking about how people are so manipulated by the weather. And when I hear people say, certain people, especially some of my family, who might say things such as, all the weather channels are saying this is going to happen. Well, guess what? Duh, that's their job. Their job is, if every weather channel is doing it, then they're all doing their job to compete with the other one. You really think they're on top of it to alert you, to make you feel better, so you can find safety? No, their job is, I've got to have good ratings. Their job is saying we got to be on top of it before the other weather channels are. We got to make sure we get good ratings, we get good reviews, that people are tuned into us versus this other one. ABC fights against CBS, CBS fights against NBC, NBC fights against ABC. Folks, you have to understand, it doesn't mean they're all evil, but it means if you think that any of these things are people who truly care about you, you're wrong. You're sadly mistaken, because it's fear. Because if we can grab you with fear, our ratings will go up. You will tune into us more, because when our ratings go up, we get paid more money. When we get paid more money, how do we get paid? We get paid by the more fear we can plug into you. Because think about it, fear is a destructive disorder. Fear is a puppet. It grasps you to lure you in, because if I can get you and manipulate you by fear, I will pull you in, suck you in. Why? Because you will be led by me more. You'll be sucked in to give me more money, and I have you. I have you in the palm of my hand. That's why from my ministry, I decided years ago, I'm not going to talk about, the four horsemen, the last days. Here's what's going to happen. We're about to have an economic crash. You better tune into me right now. And if not, you're going to go down with a ship, because I refuse. Because let me tell you something. I can be a great mastermind and manipulate every one of you by my fear. But you know what? I choose not to, because I choose to live as God chooses for sons and daughters of God to live. And that is to tell the truth, the good news, the gospel of Jesus Christ, not burying our head in the sand, but to be honest and be fair, but share with you the good, the bad, and the ugly, to be able to understand that we're not here to put fear in you. You can tell, if I was to tell you Jesus to flip the tables because of the money changers, because they were selling things in the house of God, I can tell you that beautiful story, and you can come out with divine truth without me holding it back to you, but you'll come out, elated, happy, joyful, because I can show you the good side of why Jesus did what he did, to shift us and change us, not to be able to sell oil and snakes and all these different things, snake oils, as they call it, or whatever, to be the mastermind of fear, to suck you into it, but to let you know the truth of it. And you can still come out saying, wow, that's a beautiful story. Because that's the heart of Jesus, is to tell the truth, but not tell a fear and a manipulative, way that truth can be twisted to pull you and suck you in to me and my ministry, or my political views, or my church, or my job, or my company, or my business, because that's not what it's about at all. We live by faith here in the ministry of Identity Network, knowing and believing and trusting God that people will bless our ministry financially. So that's why I don't harp on that, because I have a choice. Choose you the same you're going to serve. I choose not to believe in fear, in the sense of I choose not to be able to deliver fear to you, to gain more money, because it's not worth it. It's not. I don't want to stand before God and God said, you used a demon. I'm going to be blunt. You used a demon to help manipulate people to where you can get more money, that you called it for my kingdom. Because the truth is, you're using spirits when you do that, folks. It's just not worth it. So we love people. We understand now why these people and these companies come to us, because fear-based is a great, honestly, truthfully, business concept. Fear is a dynamic business concept. It's not right. It's unhealthy. It's not God, but it's a good, quote unquote, worldly business structure to cause you to gasp in order to grab you and to suck you back in. That's what, people do. So, and once again, it doesn't mean people are evil. It just means some people need to be able to awaken and reawaken to their truth if they ever had it before, to realize this concept that when God says, come out from among the system of the world and be separate, he means it, because it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. You can make better money by being truthful and honest. Amen. And that's what we strive to do in this ministry. So, fear. Fear is the enemy of your now moment. Because when you are grasped by fear, fear actually causes you to be able to find yourself at a place where you are, how can I say this, stopping from living. You are stagnated, you're stopped from living. And God wants you to be able to understand that to live in the now moment, you can thrive in this now moment and not find yourself at a place where you are being feared or manipulated with fear by the spirit of fear to say, oh my gosh, what's going to happen today? Oh my goodness, I got to prepare myself for later on. Oh my gosh, economic crash, I got to start doing something right now. What happens is you cease from the peace of the now moment, and you are, and fear does nothing more than bring its ugly friends of anxiety, worry, doubt. Do something, and you become a doer and not a being. You become a doer and not the power to be. And so fear literally stops you dead in your tracks, because if it can grasp you, it can hold you in a thought. A thought of what? Worry. A thought, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. Oh my God, I got to do this. I got to do this. Oh my God, what about yesterday? Oh my God, the economic crash is going to happen. I got to get a second job. Got to get a third job. Got to get a fourth job. I got to store stuff in my pantry. Oh my God, I got to store stuff because they're going to come and take me away. Folks, okay, let me just tell you right now, nobody in that kooky, weird, twisted mindset is going to come take you away, that you're going to have your food stored up, and they're going to come in at your door and hold you by gunpoint. Come on, seriously. Can I say honestly to you guys, because I truly love you, that's what we call psychiatrist. And good medication can really help you. Okay. Let's be real about it, because the truth is, Jesus said, take no thought for tomorrow. When you want to do that, you're going to be like, Jesus, hold on. Bam, let me slap you right in the face, Jesus, because I'm going to go against what you tell me to do. That's what you're doing, folks. I'm not being ugly, but I'm being honest with you guys, because he says, take no thought for tomorrow. Let tomorrow take care of itself. It doesn't mean you can't use wisdom and prepare yourself, but to store up in a locked up garage of food that will last you a year and guns, and I mean, come on. Whose report are you going to believe? Those trust in chariots, some trust in horses, but we're going to trust in God. God's my shield. It doesn't mean you can't, prepare, but don't get whack job about it, folks, because that says and has proven to you you're not living in the now moment where the I am is unfolding his beauty before you, his majesty before you. Because let me tell you what preparation does to you. Preparation mode says this: I got to get a gun. Now I got to get a rifle. Now I got to get a food. Should I have a bomb? Should I, what should I do? It starts leading you down, because fear takes you on a manipulative, twisted journey. And before long, you won't find yourself saying, hey, I'm going to have my pantry stored, in case, okay, just something happens. Before long, you're going to be like, I got to have a locker with a lock on it, tons of guns, tons of food, and then all of a sudden you're going to think, padlock my door. They're going to come after me. Who's going to come after you? Who's going to come after you, folks? Come on. I mean, you got to think logically. And also, let me say this. Let me ask you an honest question. Does the mind of Christ, the Prince of Peace, so put it away, the mind of peace, would the mind of peace tell you to do that? No. Because taking you out of your now moment is the most abrasive thing, because it will take you to a path where it will make you fragmented. And guess what? The enemy wants nothing more than to fragment you, he's trying to talk today, make you fragmented, fragment you, bring you to a place where you are broken you are distraught, you are anxiety, because when you are is when you become double-minded and you become all, unstable in all of your ways. And guess what? That's exactly how he wants you. So use wisdom, balance yourself out, use the wisdom of God, folks. All right. So I wanted to bring this to you guys today. We're going to continue this month in our podcast, and hopefully, I'll probably maybe our monthly, our Monday motivational days as times as well at 10 a.m. Central Time. But I want to be able to bring this stuff to you this month because I believe it's important to know this. All right. So know today how much I bless every one of you. Go back, get our books today, order them today, read them, download them. Read them today. It's going to help you to be able to live in the peace of this now beautiful moment God has blessed you with. So, as we leave today, like I always do, if you don't like your day, got great news for you guys. Change your thoughts, you'll change your life. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in today. Hello, Janika. Hello, Pauline. Hello, Nicole. Love you guys. Hope you have a blessed, wonderful day today. And I will talk to each one of you soon. Thank you for tuning in today.